Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at taking a look at how brands can launch a web-to-store strategy that will bring more traffic to the distributors that you're working with and bring more attention to your brands. I'm David Kulig, a part of the Global Partnerships team here at Part 2, co-hosting with Raul. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, morning, everybody. I hope the week is going well for everybody. I'm Rahul. I look after the global partnership and reselling business for Parto. We've been working with very interesting brand across different spaces on really strengthening the relationship they have with their retailer and their distributors. So I'm happy to chat with David today and put some more light on how we actually doing that.
Thanks, Raul. So just to give a bit of background information, if you've never heard of Part 2 is a Paris-based company. We were founded in 2014 and then joined Webmedia to cover more areas. And we were founded to help digitalize local businesses, help them get online, which can sometimes be a challenge for small businesses. Today, we've grown to 400 people across 3 offices in Brazil, Paris, and Barcelona, and we're active in over 100 countries. We've seen a growth from 80% to 100% per year, and that's really owed to not only our wonderful teams, our technology, but also the loyalty of our current partners. So as of 2020, we had an NPS of 48 and a 98% of net renew. And it's really important for us to not only provide technology or a product, but also a service behind that, because your success is our success. So let's take a look at what we're going to get into today. So we'll take a look at Google Business Profiles, what it is, the basics of having a complete profile and best practices, as well as the interest in it for helping for brands helping their distributors to manage this and streamline it. And of course, we'll take a look at the operational side of it. How do you implement this? How do you make it scalable while still focusing on your core business? And of course, very important, what are the results? What's the impact of doing this on your brand and for your distributors? Let's get started. So having a Google Business Profile is quite important because it acts as your online storefront. So we want to make it as attractive and useful and helpful as possible for customers looking for a service nearby. It's also really important to have this because we've seen that today, third-party sites like Facebook, Waze, TripAdvisor, Maps, they generate 28 times more contacts than a website alone. So that's pretty amazing. Okay, so today, how do people find businesses on Google? We have 3 types of searches. We have a direct search, which means I know the exact brand, name, and location of what I want. So if I want a Starbucks and I know that there's one at St. Pancras, I'm going to search that exact location. That represents 20% of the searches. Then we have what's called a brand search. It means I know what brand I want. I love Starbucks. I love Dyson. I love Adidas. So I want to find this brand, but I don't know where I can find it. This represents 30% of the searches. What it will do is when you search a brand, it's going to bring the top 3 highest ranking locations that are nearest to me. And then, of course, we have what's called a discovery search. It means I know what product or service I want, but I have no clue what the brand is, and I have no clue what the location is that I'm looking for. So, for example, I want a coffee, but I'm not sure, maybe I'm in a different country or a different area that doesn't have my normal brand. I'm going to simply type coffee shop or vacuum cleaner or possibly tradesman, and it's going to bring the top 3 highest ranking local businesses that provide this service or brand. So how do we manage to get into the top 3 ranking businesses or local pack? The challenge is how to rank higher. And there's 3 factors that go into this. We have the data management, the optimization, and also the reputation. So what goes into data management? Having a complete profile or having complete information across the web, wherever your customers are looking, is very important. The basics of this is what we call NAP consistency. That means you have the same name, address, phone number, all across the web where your customers are looking. So not only on Google Business, but on Facebook, on Twitter, on TripAdvisor, on Maps, so that if your customers are looking there, they have the correct information. But it's not only about that, it's also a vital part of Google's ranking algorithm. We can think of it as our brain. Our brain sees something, the same information on a billboard. Maybe we hear it on the radio, we saw it in the magazine, we heard it from a friend, and our brain says, oh, that's reliable information because it's the same thing I saw and heard everywhere. Google's ranking algorithm works much the same. It uses these third-party sites to verify information as reliable or not, and then it boosts the ranking. Now, there's the optimization. How do you make sure that you have the most information possible that's going to really be pertinent and specific to a person's research? So we have categories. With Google Business Profiles, you can have 10 categories total. You have a main one, and then you can have 9 additional subcategories, which will really help for people looking for maybe not just a coffee, but maybe specialized coffee, organic coffees, something of that nature. When it comes to attributes, it's going to help people have an idea of the types of services provided, the amenities. Is it wheelchair accessible? What kind of business is it? Is it a woman-owned business? Can I pay with cash, or is it also accepting a specific card like American Express? Um, Additionally, a way to optimize it is by having good quality photos. Rather than just leaving it to your customers to have customer generated photos, you can take control by having good quality photos that represent your brand and the image that you want to convey, maybe also the services of the brand there. And this is important because photo content is the most exchanged in engaging content we have. But we also want to share the functionalities, such as maybe news, products, messages, things that really set our brand and our location apart. And then thirdly, we have our reputation. So having reviews, of course, it's great to have feedback from customers, but we want to, one, have new and fresh reviews so that we see that people are going there. We have the latest information, and it really helps impact a buyer decision. But also managing these reviews is a chance for an establishment to maybe recuperate a potentially lost client. Maybe they had a bad experience, and you can say, we were short-staffed that day, or we're so sorry. It's a very unique situation, and it can help you capture that. And it's also important because what we have here is it represents 15% of the Google ranking algorithm. So Iris, you've asked for if it's necessary to use 10 categories for better ranking. It's definitely going to help if you have more specific categories. It's definitely going to help you help the customers to find you. It's going to help them pinpoint the exact service that fits them best. Raul, do you have any insight on that you would recommend?
Yeah, I think having your main category on Google My Business, of course, that's one of the fundamentals when you create a Google My Business listing. But for a location to appear in more and more discovery searches, that's where the 80% of the online traffic is. And every brand or every location wants to appear in discovery searches, where if somebody is online looking for best rated cleaner, vacuum cleaner service and repair and all these different additional categories will make sure that you kind of bring in very diverse range of customers on your location or that listing. So yeah, highly recommend adding as many subcategories that you can add in your Google My Business.
And that's a great point too. You mentioned the keywords. Another reason it's great to have new, fresh reviews as well as answer those reviews is because when somebody searches best shoes near me, it's going to pull up those keywords in the reviews. So we see the interest for local distributors, how it can help them get more foot traffic or online traffic for their stores. But what is the interest for brands to help their distributors do this? Raul, could you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. Well, thank you so much, David, for taking all of us through the quick introduction of how online presence management or online reputation is so critical and vital in today's time. Today, for a lot of brands that we've been working over the last years, and so what we have done is we have tried to strengthen the relationship they have with their retailers and their distributors. There are multiple benefit that comes, why a specific brand needs to do this for their retailers. Of course, you want to stand out in the competition, so it's a lot of companies doing the same thing. They have their distributors. Sometimes a distributor may work with multiple brands, and that's where I think a brand will have an edge, of how they can stand out and create a very tight and a good relationship with their distributors, where you can help them evolve with the digital trends and also improve their local awareness. So, of course, every small business, or I would say merchant or distributors, are not equipped with the same understanding, skills, and resources. And that's where, when there is a great partnership between the brand and a retailer or a distributor, that really creates that sense of awareness that is very, very appreciated by the small merchants and distributors. Also, loyalty, of course, if the retailer or the distributor sees that the brand is really helping them to kind of strengthen their online presence. This is also creating a loyalty with your network, where they're more relying on you on the initiatives like co-branding efforts that you can do with them. This has a direct impact on the number of sales and how your resellers or your distributors are performing. And this is one of the core reasons why a lot of brands working with us today are choosing this path. Moving on to the couple of examples. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this brand Essilor, one of the largest optician brands here in the Europe. They've been working with us for last couple of 3-4 years now. And what they have done is they have a network of independent opticians. And of course, when people go on web today and they're looking for opticians or glass repair services or maybe eye lenses, and that's where because now Essilor has this program where they can enable their network and their exclusive partners to be found online. This has a direct impact where they're driving the online traffic to their offline point of sale. So because they are helping them with this new online visibility piece, they are also able to do the co-branding activities, where, as you can see, that SLR is also part of their Google My Business listing. And this also puts a lot of faith and credibility into the customer's eyes, because they know this now, that this specific optician is working with SLR. It's exclusive partner. So it's a win-win situation for the distributor network and also for the brand, and also very easy for the customers to find the right service or location where they can consume that specific product or service. We also have Husqvarna, which is also a well-renowned name in the heavy machinery that people can use in their garden. So garden equipments, they've also been working with us for many years now across Europe. And what they have done is they have also made sure that the network or the distributors working with them are also found online. So in Pato's value, it's very much engraved that we enable our partners and their merchants to get closer, via the values we have is get found online, get chosen, and also get more clients. So every single distributor or a merchant appreciates these kind of values, because they have struggled today to get found online. They don't know what are the right trends and technologies they need to use today. So a lot of distributors and networks are also using this today on the white label basis with this is Husqvarna. Talking also about what exactly they've been able to do with their distributors and networks. So of course, they enable these distributors and locations to be in the top search results. So that's one of the quick wins they can achieve. They can also be part of their Google My Business listing, exactly what we have seen with SLR, where the logos are there. They're also part of their title. So that's where we have one example, Rocha-Reims. So that's a city in France where this distributor is working with Husqvarna. And as you can see, the name is also there in their Google My Business listing. They're also part of their description. We also have product catalog and Google Posts, which is a very, very powerful functionalities from Google. But unfortunately not being that fully utilized by small merchants and even by brands. So we enable, of course, the partner as well as the merchants to use the new trends, new functionalities, off Google at a very, very massive scale, where you can also do bulk post and across different networks that you can have in a city or in a region or in different product catalogs that you might have. Talking about the operational implementation, so I think it varies from one partner to another and the industry and what exactly do you want to achieve with your partners today. But I think there are a couple of fundamental that remain unchanged. So that's where I think Parto comes in. We are also a Google My Business premium partner, so that's where we can equip our partners, the brands that work with us very closely on all their Google My Business related issues. Let's say if the listing needs to be verified, we are a Google My Business premium partner, and we can instantly verify these Google My Business listings. So this is a great way for you to acquire more, distributors or network, or get things done very quickly. We also help our partners in the duplication. Let's say there are duplicate accounts on Google, there are suspended listings, so pretty much anything that needs to be done on Google side, we make sure that we help our partners with that. And we also, on the implementation side, we do the auditing. So let's say when the data is shared with us of a distributor from a partner, we do the auditing, we do the onboarding for that specific partner on a white label basis. We do the multi approach direction here as well, where we can enable and work with our partners on the GTM, on how the communication needs to be done, how the administration needs to be shared, and in general, really try and adapt our approach to that specific partner. So we've been doing this for many years now across different sectors. So Coca-Cola is also one of the brands that works with us, where they have equipped about 5 to 10,000 restaurants working with them on this sort of program.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt, Raul. So basically, it's a way for us to help them take care of the heavy lifting while they can still focus on their core business, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be a very great way to put this also, where for a brand, I think the core business is to sell or provide a specific service. And with Parto, with joining the forces with Parto, Parto can look after all the heavy lifting and kind of create a beautiful ecosystem of all the technology and products that you can give to your merchants on a white label basis, and for them to improve their online visibility, which indirectly will have a huge impact on your turnover, your relationship, and how you are being
Right.
operating in the market.
So it's really beneficial for everyone, but since each brand's structure and strategy is different, how could we go about, knowing what's best for our structure?
I think that's a very, very interesting question, and again, I think this is what the answer lies in the expertise of Parto, where we work with our partners very closely. I think David, you and I, we've been working on many projects together where not one partner is the same. So that's
Okay.
where we work very closely with our partners on the implementation, where once we have a project, we do the kickoff call where we really try to understand how exactly this could be deployed in the network. So let's say if there needs to be a quick integration that needs to be done on the back end. So let's say SLR, they have tons of different opticians, and they have a back end where they could come and then maybe ask SLR for the fulfillment of a specific stock. So they know that there is a door where the merchants are coming in, and
Yeah.
that's where on a white label basis, SLR puts its own branding on Parto services and enable these merchants to diffuse their data across the web. So we also work with our partners on the implementation side. Technically, we have the open APIs, we have the iframe integration, so it's
Mhm.
very easy and quick to deploy that services. And also we enable our partners to also choose the option if they want to white label it or not white label the service. We also work on the communication. So let's say when you want a specific location or a distributor to be onboarded on this program, like what sort of communication that you need to
Mhm.
have with them. So we have tons and tons of data, and I would say template based on that we can recommend you how you can build that relationship and that co-branding project with your distributor, where they would be in a better place or will trust you more on why they need to, let you be part of their Google My Business listing. And then, of course, we have ongoing, day-to-day operations with our partners and their merchants, where there could be different escalations on Google My Business,
Mhm.
how a brand could, let's say, do a bulk Google post because Christmas is coming and you have a special offer. And of course, you don't want to, create a Google post on every single Google My Business listing of your
Right.
distributors, but rather take a brand approach where you can just diffuse that Google post across different network of distributors working with you. So there are tons of different ways that we can recommend to our partner, and they normally choose the one that works best for them.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Raul. There's so many things that we can discuss further. It's a very interesting thing. There's a world to discover, and but today I hope that everyone saw how you can bring more online traffic, in-store traffic, by helping the distributors increase their online discoverability, but also to reinforce the relationship between your brand and those partners. And as always, we're always happy to set some time aside and understand better what fits for everyone's structure. And so if you're interested in talking further, here's our contact information. Raul and I are very happy to meet further, and hope this was useful for everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining.